welcome to another video from the Big J. So this video is really a follow-up to one of the last videos that I did, which was about the comparisons between Spain and the UK. So in this video, I'm going to do something about tax. So we're going to look at income tax to start off with, and then council tax. So in the UK, you go up to 11,000, you pay zero tax. From 11 to 43,000, it's 20%. From 43,000 to 150,000, it's 40%. And from 150,000 plus, it's 45%. So, looking at Spain, the thing is, it's a decentralized system. So 50% is right across Spain, and 50% is decided by the area that you live in. There aren't that many areas. It's big, large provinces known as autonomies. So the one I live in is Madrid, so I'm going to be specific about Madrid. I mean, I could be here all day explaining each one individually, but Madrid, up to 12,500, you pay 19%. So there's no zero like there is in the UK. From 12,500 to 20,000, you pay 24%. From 20,000 to 35,000, you pay 30%. From 35,000 to 60,000, you pay 37%. And from 60,000 plus, you pay 45%. So the top bracket, 45%, is the same as the UK. Now, it has to be added at this point that on top of those for Spain, you also have significant allowances. Now, I'm not going to go into them all in this video. This is not tax advice in any way. If you're getting your tax advice on YouTube, I suggest you rethink that strategy and pay a professional. So, in Spain, there are significant allowances for kids. So basically the whole system, and this is really what this video is about, is explaining not really the details of the tax system, but what is the aim of the tax system. So who is living in Spain going to benefit? Who is living in the UK going to benefit? With the allowances as they stand in Spain, you really benefit, and you hit maximum allowances for having lots of kids and being married. Also for being old. So the older you are, the more kids you have, and I guess polyamory is, polygamy is not allowed. So and be married, you get the maximum. I think there's also an allowance for being disabled. So yeah, and the other thing to compare with the UK is that the top amount, the top bracket, is 60,000, whereas in the UK, at 60,000 you're still only paying 5% less, 40%. You're in the second to top bracket, because the top bracket starts at 150,000. So it's quite clear that in Spain they start targeting the upper middle class, whereas in the UK they only start targeting the seriously wealthy at the top rate of tax. So there's more encouragement to reach further in the UK. There's more. They want you to strive. They want you to earn as much as possible. Whereas in Spain, they really want you to cap out, like top out, and just plateau at about 55,000. Something like that. That's your maximum for life. You start having kids. If you have enough kids and you get married and you buy a house, then the house is irrelevant. That's another video. Then you can have a happy life, basically, and and that's all you're going to make. You won't pay any tax, almost. So that's really the comparison. In the UK, looking at the UK, the fact that there is a zero rate from nothing to 11,000, I think is a straight out admission in numbers about the state of Britain. The fact that they know fine well that the people in that bracket have got no money and no room for error. They know that you can't tax these people because they need every penny they got because just to survive. These people at the bottom end just surviving. And then the fact that they set it at 150 for the top end shows you where their priorities are there. So that's it. You've got a very divided society in the UK of very poor people, mainly living in the north, paying very low tax rates, 0 in fact, and then in London you've got people striving to get into that top 150,000 a year tax bracket. So that's it. So that's income tax. Yes, I may just add that there are allowances in the UK, but my understanding is that they are negligible, to say the least. The marriage allowances, I think, less than 1%, something like that. It's almost nothing. Anyway, moving on. Council tax. Council tax, or property tax as the rest of the world knows it. Annual property tax. So in the UK, you have all the properties are divided into A to H bands, and it's down to each area exactly how much, but they have like parameters that they can work within. So you've got in the cheaper bracket A, you've got the lowest area in the country is 600, and that's it's changing at the moment, but that's either Westminster, which almost no one lives, or Wandsworth, which is a very nice area of London. And I think that says it all, really, again, that the rich people, they don't want to pay the tax. Hey, I'm not in favour of paying tax. I'm a libertarian myself. But the system is set up to allow for poorer areas to charge extortionate amounts of council tax. But anyway, that'll be another video. Band A varies in the country between 600 and 1,500. And then up to the maximum, the cheapest that I found for the country for Band H was 1,340 for the year. And the maximum, I'm guessing, I couldn't find anything, but I'm guessing it's 3,000 to 4,000, something like that. Probably maybe 3. But the national average is 1,196. Over in Spain. In Spain, you pay by the value of your house, but a little more accurately than the UK. 0.6 to 0.8 of the value of the property. So to give you an idea of how much it works out in reality, my property is worth about just over 120,000, and I pay 220 a year. It's also, I think it's also, they take into account square meterage. So it's significantly cheaper. There's nowhere in the UK that you can pay 220 a year. Did I say 220,000? No. It's 220 a year for this place. There is absolutely nowhere in the UK that I could pay that little. Which is great. Absolutely great. So what is the effect of this? The effects of the two different systems is that in Spain you're able to accumulate, the cost of living can be very, very low, extremely low in fact. So the only money that you have to come up with, assuming that you own your property completely, and there are many cheaper places than this out there, so I'm imagining that you could probably pay as little as 50 or maybe €100 a year for your property tax. So assuming that you own that property outright, you just got your food and your electricity to pay for the year. There's no other commitments that you must pay for as a bottom line. So you compare that to the UK. Every year you must come up with 1,196 on average per household. So the way to break that down, the way to lower that is, or the way that people thought that they could avoid paying so much, was to live a lot of people in a house. Now the British government twigged onto that. So how does this affect living in the UK? So every house has to come up with £1,196 a year. So the obvious solution to that, to reduce that, is to live many people in a property. So the British government realised that people were cramming into one building and created the HMO, House of Multiple Occupancy rule, which means that you can't do that, basically. But even though it's one house, and you're all living separately in separate rooms, maybe they're self-sufficient, they've got a little kitchen, they've got a toilet or a shower, and you're basically living in, they've turned a house into a block of flats. No. In that case, if there's 5 rooms in the house, that's 5 council taxes. So that was the end of that one. The exception to that is 2. So because 3 or more is classed as a house of multiple occupancy. So how to reduce your costs? The ideal, the maximum that you could get it down to is 2 people living in a house. No, 2 families. 2 families living in a house, in the same house, and as long as you're all related to each other, and they're all adults, the adults will be responsible. So I guess the national average being 1,196, you divide that in half, you've got 500 or 600 for each family a year. And then if you've got 2 adults in each family, that could come down to £300 per year per adult liability. So that is really the minimum that you can pay. Whereas I can pack as many people as I want into this house and still pay £200 a year. So that's how things are different. Council tax, I got a whole separate issue on a separate video on that, about how oppressive and unfair it is, how it's basically a tax that you're renting the property that you own, basically. But I recommend that you watch that video. Please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Before you go on to the next video, hit that subscribe button. Like if you like. Hopefully you like. And make comments if you want. Okay. I'll follow this video with another comparison video soon. Okay. Thanks guys. See ya.